just going to be a short live. I'm not doing a long thing. As much as their focus is on me, I obviously have their complete attention. Chances are not a one of them is sleeping very well. I know Sherilyn's not sleeping. I do not understand what they think they are achieving posting that this fall away between Sherilyn and I is all fake. What world do they live in? You know? I don't understand what they think they're achieving with that at all. Um, and I would be willing to bet that Sherilyn is losing sleep. And all I can say is, I warned you. I warned you. I give everyone the same speech when I get involved with people. You know? I warned you guys. And so that if you were bad and you were playing for the dark side, you wouldn't like the end result. I tell everybody that I meet because it's true. It's true. And so I don't know. I didn't get any strikes at all. But then I'm not seeing any numbers of people in here either now. So now I'm starting to wonder what new game is being played. They're saying that they're going to be in my town today. And they've only been posting videos of my house blowing up and burning down and me being lynched and murdered and all of that. And so all of that shit counts. It all counts. You know? And my local authorities know. Someone took a huge amount of screenshots off of Daniel Dowd's video that he did, and it was obviously all about me. They were all in there talking about me, you know, and it's just, your child trafficking shit is coming out. You can say whatever the fuck it is you want to say about any of this shit. But I will tell you that I've already said that Virginia Giuffre was really easy to find on the other side. And I set her up as one of my lieutenants. She's helping my sister Cindy on the other side. Because at this time, the dead have risen. Nobody's dead on the other side. Everyone is very much alive. And Virginia Giuffre was a huge asset on the other side. In this side, I didn't fucking know her at all. But on the other side, what you are fighting, you can't see and you can't do anything about because you're fighting heaven. You wanted a fucking war with heaven. That's your little dark group. You told yourselves how powerful you were and all of that. And so when it comes down to it, all I give a shit about is that you asswipes hear what I have to say. Because it makes no difference for anybody else. I don't give a shit about anybody else. I want your group to know what I'm saying. So there's no plausible deniability. You knew the whole time and made a choice. That was key to all of this. To all of this. You had to be given the choice. And you have, and you've chosen accordingly. And my role in this was to stand up and be enough of a nuisance that your group would stand up and strike me down. That's all I had to do. It was the easiest task ever, because that's what you do as a whole. That's what your group does. You just fucking murder whoever the fuck you want. And you parade around like the shit you're doing now, thinking that nobody can actually see what's going on. That everyone is just so dense that they can't see through your fucking stupidity. And dealing with your group has assured me that what I dealt with the fallen and helping them cross over and all of that, more than anything, because I find each one of you as a whole, as a group as a whole, but each as individuals, your arrogance and your egos make you the dumbest motherfuckers I've ever met in my fucking life. You do all kinds of shit, and it's all because your ego and your just this whole entitlement thing that your group has going. You know? Aquino thought he was entitled. All of his friends thought they were entitled. You all think you're entitled, you know? And you can act with impunity, that there's no consequences to anything that you've done. But you're wrong. You're wrong. And you're about ready to find out how very wrong you are. And you can say shit about my teeth and my lack of hair and my age and the wrinkles and the fact that I'm unattractive and I'm fat and I'm old, you know? Blah, 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 blah. But it won't change a fucking thing. And what you're afraid of the wrong thing. What you should be afraid of, you don't even have any conceptual. You can't even see it in front of you, you know? And that's why this group, I'm just doing what I was told. Like I said, I had to get you to strike me down. Heaven always is asking me to do shit outside of my comfort zone, you know? But, and they're just foolish. But go look at the description and just read. That's the shit they posted. And then this person sent me, God, I don't know how many fucking screenshots of their stupid shit, you know, and their conversation. And it's all the same motherfuckers, as it always has been, you know? John, wow, that's, you know, John, they love the name John for some fucking reason. And Mesner goes through it a lot. He uses John Kill Rush. Get it? He gets a rush out of killing. He went with John Kill Rush and Johnny Dub and John, you know? And he thinks he's brilliant. And I find him unoriginal. I find all of them very unoriginal. Lethal, oh, they're lethal, all right. But there's nothing remarkable about any of them, and that includes Aquino, you know? Aquino was smart and all of that, but in the end, what's he doing? He's fucking hiding, because he's still alive. He didn't fucking kill himself, you know? If they said he died of prostate cancer, I would believe that. But suicide, Aquino, anybody who knows anything about that man knows that that dude was not the type, you know? And all of this is to cover up their child trafficking operation that they've been going on for a long time. Aquino was not alone. Epstein was just a front man. He wasn't even in charge, you know? P. Diddy isn't in charge. And the rest of them, because there's a bunch of them, and they're all doing the same shit. Feeding each other drugs and alcohol and setting them up with cameras with kids and crimes and blah, 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 so they can all have fucking blackmail information on it. But the funny thing about it is the cat's out of the bag. And the one thing that they all know for certain is they can't trust each other. And it's already being fed out. And why? Why is this shit with Jeffrey Epstein not going away? My contention is it's because Virginia Giuffre, who was pissed when I found her after she was dead, rose to the challenge. And all I asked was, fuck this shit up. There's only one thing. They can walk through the doorways that I make, but no mercy. Ever. Never. They're never to get any mercy. None. No mercy. The same amount of mercy this group has offered, which is none. You reap what you fucking sow. And if you didn't plant it, you don't get it. You know? But are they in my town today? Who knows? Who fucking cares? You know? I'll worry about it. If I wake up in the middle of the night and they're standing over my bed, you want to know the first fucking thought over my head, in my head? I'll just say, okay, heaven needs this to be done with, because I'm just following the directive that I've always been given. But they ain't gonna like the consequences of what they do. They don't like the consequences of what they've done already. They don't like any of it. That's the reason why they're focused on me and making fucking weird ass videos and passing flyers out in my town and now threatening to be in town. And the fucking idiots are in my house all the fucking time. They never stop. And they want me to know. They fuck shit up. They want me to know they were in my house. You know? And so they steal shit out of my house and then brag about it. So how the fuck does that work? You know, obviously, what I'm saying is the truth, and I don't get this whole thing with Sherilyn is the same thing with all of them. What exactly have I spoken about? What have I said? What has given you, any of you, the impression that I talk out my fucking ass? You know? What have I done or said that you can say, oh, he's talking out his ass? So, since that's not true, when it comes down to it, and I warn you, if you are bad and you are going to play with me, you will not like the consequences. Why would you just dismiss that? But they all do. Every fucking time. Daniel Dowd and Geo Farnsworth. I would have never fucking thought you murdered Owen Wingert, but you went on YouTube and you bragged about it. You wanted me to know. And now you want to act like little bitches because I'm fucking making an issue out of it. That's this whole thing. That's the reason why your little group is doing everything you are right now. Because you're fucking butthurt. Gabe Hoffman will say that I actually was talking about, you want to know what? About that whole bulldozer thing that I would bulldozer over him? I bet Neil Gross wishes it was a real bulldozer. Because the bulldozer that I can send to you fucks your life up. This fear that you all fear, this feeling of unease is not going to go away for any of you. It's going to grow. Oh, I'm not self-reflecting. I gave my life and my soul to all of this. I would be willing to go into the dark if I could drag these motherfuckers with me. And these fucking child killers are going in the goddamn dark. And anybody who doesn't fucking understand that or care, chances are you're going to end up in the black hole right along with them. You know? That's how it works. That's how it works. And they can parade all their shit around all they want. They can send it. No, I will do nothing. I don't have to. I can sit in my house. But heaven is using the darkness to fuck your asses up. And there's nothing you can do. That's great. That's great. Because you're an idiot. That's the whole thing, is that their egos are so vast that they can't even conceptualize anything that might be detrimental to them in the future. They can't even think about it. I started thinking about this whole thing because in the last live, if you go look in the description, I put one article about how the earth is spinning faster. I put one article about the gamma radiation shit. I put one article about the volcanoes. You can go read that one article and then go to Google yourself and actually type it in. All kinds of information will come out. But this, I started thinking about it and I thought, you want to know what? Everything is conspiring to bring down mankind. Everything. There's not one fucking thing out there that anybody can say that with any kind of certainty that there's hope that the mankind will make it through everything we're facing that's against us. That's what. So, go ahead. You know, economics, politics, religion. Do any of you feel saved by that? You know, I bet you don't. You know, go away, dude. I know that people in town are watching this. Each one of these videos is just a continuation of history, and I'm not going to spoon feed dumbasses, especially when I have a group in here that actually wants to act like dumbasses and say stupid shit and dismissive shit, anything that they can to actually capture anybody from listening to what I have to say. This child trafficking bullshit is going to be dealt with. But in the end, there is so much more facing all of us as mankind. You know? Stop and think 70. Do you really think that you're an anonymous name with no picture and you come in? You know? These child traffickers saying that they're going to be in my town, you know? Well, I tell you what. Now neither are you. He said I was saying nothing. Okay. But this child trafficking bullshit, if something happens to me, they're going to go right and start looking right at Sherilyn. And they're going to find the connections to all of you because you're all stupid. And they're going to go to the meth head Oompa Loompa next door and probably the Mexican dude on the other side. And they're going to find connections. That's how it's going to work. It's not going to go all away. I think that the whole Epstein mess is going to bring Trump down. It has already exposed this administration as the deep state. They have projected all of their bullshit onto so many people for so long, but now they're going to be seen as they are. They're corrupt. They're corrupt, and their corruption is playing out right in front of everybody. And if you think that orange pedophile Jesus can save you, then by all means, wear your little red hat and espouse all the hatred you fucking can. You know? If that's what you think is going to win you the day. You know? Am I in that book too? No, my poor ass would never have been invited to Pedophile Island. Poor people didn't go to Pedophile Island. We didn't have planes to fly there. Or that ranch that Anton Scalia ended up murdered at. Poor people can't go there either. You know? See, this is all sewer town. This is all of their bullshit. That's the reason why I just leave this conversation. There's not 68 people in here. They're just feeding the numbers. And they don't want to be caught. So again, who am I calling out? Let's start at the top and I'll work my way down. Michael Aquino. Michael Aquino was involved with everything. Michael Aquino was involved with all of this bullshit. You know? Then you go from Michael Aquino to Gabe Hoffman. He was below Michael Aquino, I believe. Then Thomas Schoenberger. Thomas Schoenberger actually was the one who did Michael Aquino's last interview. The last interview he ever did. It was supposed to be the last, you know. And so, therefore, Thomas Schoenberger. Then you go to the little worker bees. Oh, wait a minute. We have to actually talk about Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, whose whole history is to shut fucking survivors up about all of this satanic ritual abuse that they were talking about. He has decades of history going in, sending his little Satanic Temple minions into Neil Brigg's SMART conference in Connecticut and befriending all of the victims and then trying their best to shut them up and neutralize them. A whole long fucking history. That is his history, actually. That's his history. And he has the Satanic Temple after school daycare bullshit. So while he's shutting down victims of fucking sexual abuse and extreme crimes against them as kids, he's exposing himself to other kids, new kids, with this Satanic Temple after school daycare that they're all dealing with online. All of this shit has to deal with the global satanic Nazi pedophile ring that the FBI busted in New York 2 years ago in September. 2 years ago last September, a global satanic Nazi pedo group that was working online. And this is the group that murdered Isaac Kappy. So then when you go Lucian Greaves, remember that he has his counterpart, that Kara, free-range humans idiot that goes by Emily Thorne and Skills and a zillion other names. So you go through that. Then you have Corey Daniel, Phoenix Enigma, and his Sicilian witch wife. The whole Sewer Town group. Jesse Davis, DeFango, Geo Farnsworth, Daniel Dowd, Tara Joyce. They're all connected in all of that, you know? And when you look at this group, this is the group that has been all involved. Tara Joyce hasn't been involved with Isaac Kappy. She was involved with Max Spears, you know? Same fucking Aquino victim. And so this is the group that has been working. Aquino may or may not be dead, but the fucking people who helped him, his associates that were involved in this gazillion-dollar business a year, because there's a lot of fucking money to be made in trafficking kids, you know? So they're all involved with that. His associates are not dead. And it's the worker bees that need to be focused on at a time that the fucking planet is about ready to shake us the fuck off. There are huge earthquakes happening. The earth is tilted. That was another thing that I showed. All you have to do is the earth tilted? I was wrong. It's not 33%. It's 31.3% of an angle. It's tilted and it's spinning faster. And we're getting inundated with heat and radiation from the sun with coronal mass injections that are cooking all of that, you know? And so therefore, all of this shit is going to get exposed, but death is coming. Death is coming. There's no way around it. The shit is already starting to fuck up. You know, it's just that people are oblivious because they're very good at lying, and your cognitive dissonance wants to be lied to because nobody wants to hear the shit that's going on. You know, never has. Never has. But Trump is about ready to pardon Maxwell. He's also wanting to party P. Diddy. You know? Really? They'll just parade it right out in front of you and then tell you that they're not shitting all over you. Who are you going to believe? You know? Who are you going to believe? And nobody ever believes the victims. You know? I knew I was never going to get anywhere. Victim blaming, victim shaming is the way. It is their way. You know, anybody who actually would focus on them. But that's the reason why they're feeding my numbers. By the time, 72 people. So by the time, what, am I going to have 50,000 fucking people? 50,000 bots on here. And they think that that's actually going to do something. You know? It's just bizarre how it works. And how it's working, and people are being judged as accordingly by it. And that's what's getting ready to happen. And their fucking child trafficking thing is not going to go away. If they take me out to fucking today, which they're threatening to do, it won't change a fucking thing. Not a fucking thing. This shit, accountability and retribution is in front of them. Every fucking one of them needs to go down. The Clintons were best friends with Epstein, as was Trump. And you want to know who also were best friends? Hillary and Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. They were all fucking friends. You know? How many years are you all going to allow yourself to be played? And so they want to actually make threats and do all of that and fuck with my numbers. Like there's 80 fucking people in here. I've gotten 7 likes, but there's 80 people in here right now. You know? As they brag about their stupid shit. Sherilyn is not sleeping, I bet. And it's only going to get worse, sweetie. And I warned you. 4 fucking little words. I told you so. Whether or not you chose to listen, whether or not you chose to heed what I was saying is totally irrelevant. totally fucking irrelevant. They were trying to bring me down and shut me up because they don't want their fucking little child trafficking operation exposed. But I'm not fucking... I don't give a shit who likes what. I don't care. Does it make any fucking difference? No, it makes no difference. Whatsoever does it make any difference. You know? Oh my God, must be a recording versus a live. You're absolutely right, dude. You got me, Nancy Drew. You know? It doesn't negate the first fucking thing of what I've said. Whether it was recorded, whether it was live. You know? I'm just having fun watching the stupid shit in the comment section when it says there's 95 people in here, and I know there's not 95 people in here. But Daniel Dowd has sent his people in here. Lucian Greaves, Doug Mesner, and his little satanic temple minions. He sends his people in here. You know, Thomas is fucking in here in one way or the other, and all of his friends. I have their complete motherfucking attention. You were my target audience. I've said that from the very fucking beginning. All I give a shit about is that your group knows what I'm saying. That's all I give a fuck about. Everybody else I could give a shit less. You can convince them that the earth revolves around each one of them and the sun comes out when you flip a switch. It doesn't make a fucking bit of difference. I just needed your group's focus. And I have every fucking one of you focused on me now. And that was all part of this shit. That was all part of it. Kit and caboodle. And I see it in front of me. All your weird ass videos, all your weird ass emails, all your weird ass threats, all of the fucking shit that you're doing as a collective, all the shit that you're saying and talking about. You are fucked. Your child trafficking operation is about ready to come out in the biggest way. And you are all fucked. But more importantly, you owe a blood debt to the fucking dark. And it's here to claim your stupid asses. And that means your souls. That's the blood debt you all fucking owe. It gets all of your souls. You know? Oh, Jesus, dude. Go. You're right. Follow your orange pedophile Jesus right into the goddamn dark. Do it. Do it. Do whatever the fuck you want, dude. Right? There's no consequences. None at all. And yet, of that fact, I would be very less than sure. Very less than sure. You know? You think that you're going to be able to overcome what is right here for you. You know? Obama's going into the fucking dark too. They all are. Oh my God. This whole whataboutism, the whole thing about it is that heaven doesn't give a shit. The dark is going to take all of them. Every fucking one of them. Because they're all fucking involved. Every fucking one of them. And all of you who actually defend one or the other, you get to get claimed too. You get to go right along with your false fucking idols. Go ahead. You know? Go ahead. They're all going into the goddamn dark. They're all fucking, and it is goddamned. You know? Dude, I've been at this. I fucking published a book in 2011. Biden wasn't fucking president then. And I was fighting this for, what, 2-3 decades before I even wrote a book? I got heavy into this in 2006. So which fucking president do you want to say is all responsible for it? How? Because they're responsible, Trump shouldn't be held accountable. You know? I tell you what, go away then. God is going to deal with these fucking pedophiles. Because you want to know what? Not one motherfucker from the peanut gallery has ever even done anything. Most people just talk shit, but they don't do shit. They're all in bed together. It's the system we fight. It's the system we're fighting. You get rid of one, there's 100 more. Fine, get rid of Trump and Biden and Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and 30 other ones. And you want to know what? There's fucking a million more just waiting to take their place. Just waiting in line. In line. So while you're focused on these little individuals, the rest of the trans people, they have a hard enough time living their lives. There's no conspiracy of trans people, you know? They're just taking advantage of the situation and feeding on people's hatred. Because obviously, since everyone was okay eventually with gay marriage, except the few, they had to focus on someone else. You know, first it was the drag queens, then it was gay people in general. Now we have the trans. You know, they're always focused on some enemy that nobody really knows anything about. Because really, when it comes down to it, what do any of us really fucking know about what it's like to be around or affected by, in any way, shape, or form, a fucking trans person? Anybody? You know, anyone? No. The answer is no. It's being fed to us. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. And yeah, now they're focused on all of the brown people, getting rid of all the brown people. But you want to know what? I live in fucking middle America, and you want to know what's happening? They can't get any little white kids to actually do the crops and all of the shit, and so everything's going to fuck. But yeah, get rid of the group that has the most incredible work ethic. You know? That makes fucking total sense. The politicians serve themselves and those who make them rich. That's who they serve. They serve the system. And let me tell you about their little group. It was a privilege to get accepted into this group. It was a privilege to actually be able to go to these parties at Epstein's Island and the ranch that Scalia ended up dead at and all of that. It gets to be a privilege. These people want to be there. Like I said, go ahead, get rid of 100 of them. There's a million more to take their place because it's the fucking system that we're fighting. And these people look at the basic people as fucking cattle. They refer to you as eaters and breeders. That's what I grew up with, you know? Trump has not been helping. Trump has not been helping. He's part of the fucking problem. And anyone with even one working brain cell in their head can see that everything that has transpired this summer is fucking, it's a cover-up. Every fucking thing. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure it the fuck out. You know? But they have all of their little fucking Nazi trolls in here. You know? With that said, I have shit that I have to get done, you know? It's always a fucking Republican who gets busted with all of this fucking child trafficking bullshit. Soliciting fucking kids. Every time you hear it in the fucking news, it's always a goddamn Republican. They're rabid, and they're eager to be rabid, and they're proud about being rabid, and they talk about it, they brag about it all the fucking time. But anybody who calls them out for the very shit that they're doing, they're the bad guys. They're the crazy ones. See how that fucking works? But this isn't World War II Germany, dumbasses. You know? They think that they have you guys divided between Democrats and Republicans and all of that bullshit. You want to know what it is? It's about the fucking entitled rich motherfuckers and all the rest of us. When did you never think that the world would actually realize that maybe the 1% that owns 99% of the wealth would have an issue in the end? You know? It's not going to go well. And as shit starts crumbling and falling down, because let me tell you, all of this flooding and all that they have that they report on the news, they're not fixing. They're not paying anybody to fix that shit, so it's just rotting. And people are getting pissed. But they don't care. They don't care. But they will, because people are starting to lose it mentally. It's not the stress of everything, not to mention the sun cooking us. Society as a whole, in every fucking country, is on the verge of collapsing. And so, all I know is that these motherfucking child trafficker motherfuckers are going to end up in the goddamn dark. I sold my fucking soul for it. And heaven doesn't break its promises. That's what's happening here. You know? That's what's fucking happening. And this fear that you're starting to experience, it's spurring all of these weird-ass threats and all of this bizarre behavior that doesn't convince anybody that you're innocent. In fact, just the opposite. You look creepy. But I told heaven when I was 27, if I had to go into the darkness just as long as I could drag every one of these motherfuckers with me, and that's getting ready to happen. What? The goats had to go fucking somewhere. And if you're fucking stupid enough to end up in the goddamn dark, you deserve what the fuck you get. And there's a lot of people in here who fucking they don't realize what's right in front of them. They don't realize. They don't realize. Nor do they care. They will, but they don't care now. And it's sad to watch. Because these motherfuckers can't see anything, you know? Dude, with all of the earthquakes and the volcanoes busting apart and all of the shit that's going on, all I need to do is sit back and fucking watch. That's really all anybody does, you know? That's all anybody does. Oh, they're going to say, oh, I'm going on. There's no spree, dude. If you're afraid of God's wrath and you think that that's a threat, then maybe you need to rethink your life choices. Because that's basically what it is. Heaven is fucking dealing with your dumbasses. Heaven is getting ready to deal with mankind as a whole. Right now. It's already happening. And these dumbass motherfuckers who are ignorant and have all kinds of shit to say that don't really say anything, they're just criticisms. They're just criticisms. They're little jabs, and they think they're entertaining with all of their evil, nasty shit. And really all they're doing is showing themselves, because everything that's been hidden in the light, everything that's been hidden in the dark is getting drug out into the light. These motherfucking pedophiles are gonna get fucking exposed. And I know they're already being investigated, you know? The world will go on. Humanity may not. You know? Why would I feel obligated to show you anything, dumbass? The fake ass account is Williamson. Oh, show me the facts. Okay, Gio. You know? That's the problem is a lot of people have a lot of information already because people have been looking. It's not me who wants to become famous, but I can't say that there aren't people who want to become famous because of this shit. Let them. Let them. If it spurs them to do what I need them to do, then great. Investigate away. Seek out that fame. Because it'll be easy to find. It'll be easy to start with. With the shit that's going on with Sherilyn now, that's where I would start. I would make the connections with Sherilyn and the rest of this group. That's where I would start. That's where I would start, actually. You know, I know that Sherilyn is involved with Thomas. It was Sherilyn who convinced me to actually reach out to Smokey on the phone. She was the one who pushed me and pushed me and pushed me to do it because I didn't want to talk to people on the phone. And so I reached out to Smokey. The moment I reached out to Smokey at Sherilyn's prodding, Thomas jumped on and started saying that I was associated with MS-13 because Smokey was connected with MS-13, and that was what was going on. That's the little bullshit games they fucking play. They're opportunists. They'll just take advantage of whatever, you know? But if I wanted to find out the connections with me and this group and how it's playing out, I would actually look at Sherilyn, you know? I would look at Sherilyn. And so, because it will lead you to the rest of this group that's fucking part of this child trafficking operation. And it needs to be brought down. It needs to be brought down. And they're little government people because Aquino has his dumbasses. Thomas Schoenberger has his dumbasses. Daniel Dowd brags about his dumbasses. You know, Lucid Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, has his dumbasses. They're going to do everything they can to do whatever they can to discredit whatever. But what I'm saying, you know, they're paid protesters. Your group is. Or you do it for free. Considering the fucking Oompa Loompa meth head that helps out my sheriff, you don't pay very well. That's how it seems. To me, anyway. You know? But what the fuck do I know? I'm just their victim. There was not 97. When I do this, I will definitely leave a screenshot of how many people it said was in this room. I don't know why they do it. I have no clue why they do it. I think that they're achieving something. But again, this shit will never probably ever go viral. It's only meant for certain people who are looking into this shit. And this group. This motherfucking group who actually wants to defend the fucking dark. You know? They serve the dark, and the dark is here to call its servants home. Just like heaven is about ready to call its servants home. Ascension. You either ascend or you don't. That's how it works. Tell yourself whatever the fuck you need to tell yourself in order to keep doing whatever. Do whatever you fucking want. Who cares? No one could stop you. You can't even stop yourselves. And that's not for everybody, but there's a lot of people in here that it is meant for. You know? So do whatever the fuck you want. It's a done deal anyway. You're out of time. So make the most of it, dumbasses. You know? Make the most of it. I lead you dumbasses into the fucking dark. So if you show up at my house, which you've threatened to do today, if you've threatened to do that, then go ahead. You know? But I think that a bunch of you are in here to actually make problems and take away from the child trafficking operation. The rest of the spiritual stuff, fuck, believe it, don't believe it. Defend these motherfucking child traffickers and you go into the goddamn dark. Turn away from these child traffickers and just let them do whatever the fuck they want. You're gonna go into the goddamn dark. That's how it's gonna fucking work. It's the choice is yours. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Dude, I don't give a shit about provoking your dark, brother. You know? The whole shit is that I have proven my point in more ways than one. You know? I'm getting ready. The dark is getting ready to take out all of you motherfuckers, dumbass. You know? With that said, I have better things to do with my time than fucking deal with their trolls. You know? This child trafficking bullshit needs to get fucking taken care of. Flat out. I don't believe Aquino is dead. He was all involved. Even if he's dead, his associates are not. Gabe Hoffman, associate. Thomas Schoenberger, associate. Doug Mesner, Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, who's using his Satanic Temple after school daycare to fucking target kids. Sewertown, Geo Farnsworth, Daniel Dowd, Corey Daniel, the Sicilian Witch, DeFango, Jesse Davis, Ron Patton, Craig Sawyer. They're the ones who actually murdered Isaac Cappy. They've been all involved with them. That's the reason why I call them the Dead Isaac Cappy Club. They're all about dead Isaac Cappy, but they don't want you to at all look at the child trafficking bullshit he was trying to expose. They don't want anybody to fucking look at that. You know? I'm in here doing shit to save the kids. What are you doing in here? Other than fucking an anonymous asshole making fucking... insulting someone who's actually making a difference. And you're just in here commenting. You know? Anonymously. Thinking that you're actually all that. And you wonder why I don't respect your stupid asses. You know? This pedophile shit is going down. Heaven is getting ready to fucking take your ass out. You know? Enjoy the fucking dark, you fucking dumbasses.